You don't compete with anyone. You find your opponent's weakness and you attack. A closer does a good job and waits for a pat on the back. A closer does a good job and pats himself on the back. Just does a good job. Does his job. Does his job. Get two relentless individuals going against each other. That situation can play out for years. They can still be cool with each other, hang out and get along. But the cleaner inside never forgives and never ever forgets history. Yet to be disproven that any player 6 out of 10 or ever cannot handle harsh confrontational criticism with someone 6 9 or 6 out of 9 or under. You can get in his face and just blast him, but any taller they'll just lose it and go right into shell. I think it comes from a lifetime of being started and gawked for being so much bigger than the rest of the population. People pointing and making height jokes. So the tall guys become more sensitive and self-conscious. They're just emotional softies. They can be complete killers in competition, but they are also the guys who have the pat on the back, boast their confidence and make them feel good about what they're doing. The title, the letter guys, you can call them every name imaginable, and they keep right on going. When you're the guy at the top, it's on you to pull everyone else up there with you, or everything you've built comes crashing down. You'd be surprised by how many people don't want to stand alone under the glare of us despite the spotlight, because as soon as you reveal that you're capable of, that's what everyone will expect of you. But when no one realizes how good you are, you don't have to be the guy making miracles and running the show. No one will expect much, and everything you do will seem heroic. Easier that way. Easier that is. If you're okay being average, a lot of gifted people will lower their scales to close the gap between themselves and those around them, so others can feel more confidence involved and relatively competitive. I've seen Kobe do that briefly when he has to, as a way to bring his teammates into the action and keep them engaged. Michael went the other way and came right out and said it. That's my supporting cast. His message was clear and relenting. Hey, I'm not bringing my game down. You can look better. You bring your game up. So it's far more typical for stars to get aggravated and emotional when their teammates don't, and then everyone falls apart because, as we've discussed, emotions make you weak, and all that emotional energy is emotions make you weak, and all that emotional energy is completely destructive. Michael Jordan loved Steve because Steve Kerr would stand up to him. When a cleaner puts you in a position to execute, you'd better be prepared at some point, whether you're in the boardroom, at the locker room, or anywhere else you want to excel. Someone is going to point in your direction and say, you it might be an opportunity that lasts a minute, maybe 10 minutes, maybe a week or a month. But what you can do is that time is going to determine what you're going to do for a long time after. Someone is going to do something else, something the coach or the boss doesn't like. You're going to get the chance to take this spot. Well, you be ready. Well, you work that allows you to step in fully prepared and show you should have had the job all along. Have you been finding ways to stay sharp and focused? Because if you do well and impress someone, you're in the system. Now he and now the herd and now and the head guy knows he can go to you and you've added a weapon to his arsenal forward. But if you don't do well, you're down. The next guy will get the opportunity you didn't grab. You got your chance. You won't go another. You won't get another. You don't have to like it, but you'll like the results. Don't be flooded. A true cleaner isn't thinking about making you better for your benefit. He's happy for you if you get something out of it. But whatever he's doing is for his sake, not yours. His only objective is putting you where he needs you to be. He can get the results he desires. A great leader knows the best way to get people to raise their performance is to put them where they can truly excel, not just where you want them to excel. Cleaners don't block others from reaching the top with them. If they're capable and ready, um, Bobby Knight told Portland to make over some they told Knight that they needed a center. Knight told them to play MG at center. You have to look at your teammates, your employees, and see what they can do, not what they can't. We've established what he can do, so let's stop waiting for him to do it. Let's find out what he can do and put him in the system where he can succeed. Everyone is given some ability at birth. Not everyone finds out what that ability is. Sometimes you find it on your own, sometimes it has to be shown to you. Either way, it's there. At the same time, there are abilities you are given. You are not given. Our challenges in life is to use the abilities we have and to compensate for the abilities we don't have. It's completely instinctive. We compensate in order to survive. Individuals with limited vision frequently have heightened hearing. People with certain disabilities discover they have extraordinary talent in other areas. Something is given and something is taken away. I know countless athletes who are blessed with incredible physical gifts, height, scale, strength, speed, but no work ethic or no support system, no way to use or develop or take advantage of those skills. Successful people compensate for what they don't have, and successful people make excuses, blame people, everyone else, and never get past the deficiencies. A true leader can see past those deficiencies, identify the abilities, and get the most out of that individual. A closer winner is what's going to happen. A closer watches things happen. A cleaner makes things happen. When you're so extraordinary at your craft, when your talent is so natural and your skill is so elevated, it's hard to understand that not everyone is like you and can do what you do. It's not a matter of they're trying more or working harder. They really just can do it, and if it is not handled right, it will destroy your entire team or office or whatever you have elite performers surrounded by less gifted colleagues. We talked about every guy on the team, focusing on all the players' strengths instead of their weaknesses. I told him that as the leader, his job was to recognize his players' talents and put them in situations where they could use those talents. Yes, we know this guy might mentally check out, and that guy isn't going to take a shot under pressure. We know this guy can deliver during the regular session, but in the pace off, he's going to look like the D League player. Uh, He really is. So don't put the player in a position where it will matter. Work with the strengths, and everything else you get beyond that will be a bonus. You control this, take charge of the situation, and make it work in your favor. But you also have to recognize you're so competitive that you're crushing them with your disapproval. You don't realize the impact you have on everyone else because your wiring is completely different. When you're shaking your head or yelling at them, they shut down. And I know you love these guys, so they need to feel that um, you're baking them, not turning against them. When you say something to an individual and then you turn away before he can respond to make or make a comment back to you, you're making your point and you're not letting him have his say. You have to see how someone reacts so you know that's what's coming next in his head down. Is he angry? Are you motivating him or doing the opposite? When you hit someone with a negative attack, it doesn't energize him, it just brings him down. You're not going to win these guys over by making them feel worthless. Remember, when a cleaner gives you an opportunity, be ready because he won't ask you again if you blow it. It's easier for him to just do the job himself, and if he's going down with the ship, he's going to make sure he's the captain. When you're the guy they hire to make things happen, those things better happen, or you won't be that guy for long. You are responsible if there's going to be a mistake. You've to be the one to make it so you can turn it around immediately and get everyone back on track. It's all on you. Usually, as soon as you give them the entire view and let them, it's theirs to manage every little detail and personality and weaknesses and strengths. As soon as you give them that moment of complete power and control, most of them say, "Oh, no thanks." Easier to say where they're safe and comfortable. No one knows that better than the coaches who not only have to figure out the tribe but manage the chess as well. The good ones understand the dynamic. Let your cleaners do their things. Those who can't give up that control eventually coach themselves out of a job. A cleaner player needs a cleaner coach because they'll understand and respect what each other has to do. Cleaners never sell each other out. They just let the other guy take care of business. Phil never sought relationship with his players. He just put them in situations where they could succeed, and they didn't try to make people do what they couldn't. He's not an ex or guy. He's all about total instinct and a god feel for the game. He sees personalities and measures that what they can do. He sees personalities and measures what they can do. Coach, okay, he's the best bringing his players who he knows will work in his system. I have this big stat here. That guy with the high basketball IQ over there. This guy with the jump shot and the pieces and he pieces them together so it all works. They're not always the most gifted athletes, but he knows exactly what will work for his team, recognizes what they can do, and puts them in situations where they can shine. John Calipari goes to the way he wants the best athletes out there, so he doesn't have to mastermind anything. A different way of achieving the same result, winning, but relying more on the player's ability to excel without a lot of coaching or teaching, regardless of how you build that team. anything in sports or business or any endeavor. No matter how you snap the pieces into place, you need that one guy who never needs a fire lit under him, who commands respect and fear and attention and demands that other bring the same excellence to their performance that he demands of himself. He doesn't have to be the most skilled or gifted guy on the team, but he establishes an example that everyone else can follow. The only way you can light other people on fire is to be lit yourself from the inside. A professional doesn't let other people down just because of personal issues. If you need to show up, you show up. You might detest every individual in the room, but if your presence makes them all feel better, if it pulls the team together, if it results in the better performances, then you've helped yourself to get one step closer to your own goal. That's how you get others to come up to your level. Show them where it is, and set the example that allows them tag there.